Next week. Under the enrollment report, though, you'll see Daniel Garlock is a 9th grade student who is asked to enroll in the ag program over at their area.
Okay. Any expected problems with the kindergarten enrollment?
No, I mean we are at that point where we have to make a decision. We are tight at LES, so just we got to keep an eye on it for another week, and we do have a plan in place if we need to move.
Good. Thank you. Educational programs, Dr. Tepper.
No report for this evening, but we do have a curriculum committee meeting next week at 5:30. 5 o'clock, I'm sorry, that's right. It's a half hour earlier next week, 5 o'clock.
Okay. On your agenda for next week will be tuition student Owen Johnson. He is from the Mount Pleasant School District, and that will be on your agenda as a resolution. Special education result of focused monitoring, Dr. Soltis.
Yes, about a year and a half ago, Latrobe was selected for a focused monitoring on the transition program that begins for students around age 14 to prepare them to go after high school. And we had a few items that we needed to address. There are two ways that items that are found to be out of compliance are addressed. One is through a monitoring that is just the teacher addresses by changing an IEP or holding a meeting, very simple, and they're resolved immediately. All of those have been resolved. The other is an improvement plan that is developed by my department. Those are typically trainings that need to be held, meetings that need to be held, and procedures that need to be developed. And all of those have been addressed. However, when we have those kinds of items, they're again reviewed in one more year. So they can be reviewed in a year whenever we're needing to review the cyclical monitoring for the special ed program, which will take place in January of 2015. So every 6 years, all special education programs throughout the state are on a cycle of monitoring, and Greater Latrobe's full district special ed program will be monitored in January of 2015. So by the time we have completed that process, we will be meeting to review all of the items that have been cited from that review, and I'll be checking out on the final review of the focus monitoring that we did about a year and a half ago. If you want any particulars about the items that we had to address, I'll be happy to speak with you about them. Anybody have any questions? Okay, great.
Thank you, Dr. Soltis. Next week on your agenda will be an agreement, a memorandum of understanding for the ECAT Academy between the union and, the for 2014-2015. That's, will be a voting item next week. There's also a new story tutoring agreement for 2014-2015. These stories are elementary reading program. Do anybody wish to say anything about that? Okay. And we will be asked to approve contracted service agreement with the IU for an English as a second language program, and that will be on the agenda next week. Also, we will be approving a contract tutoring agreement for 2014-2015, and that will be an agenda item. And Ms. Malloy will be getting two dietetic interns from Seton Hill to work with her, Megan Shaw and Stacy Sawaski, for the fall semester, and that will be an agenda item to approve those two. The next curriculum committee meeting, as Dr. Tepper already mentioned, will be next Tuesday at 5 p.m. And that ends my report, and I will go to Mrs. Elder for finance.
Thank you. There is an attachment for you to look at for the treasurer's report, and the other things go on the agenda as they usually do. You were all given a copy of the budget this evening, and you can either take it home or leave it and look at it online when you want to. And there is a grant we received from the United Way for a $2,000 gift to the planned tuition, the transition program. That's between the daycare centers and the kindergarten. And there are attachments for budgetary transfers, the finance committee minutes, and the next finance committee meeting will be on Wednesday, September 3rd at 10 at the admin building. That's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Elder. Property and supply, Mrs. Kozar.
Thank you, Mrs. Mays. First up under A is the project update as an attachment on the junior high program. And you can see that we're pretty much near completion on that job too. And then the second part here, part B, is the change orders. The last change orders. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. So they'll be on the agenda for next week. We also have letter C is opening and award bids for the winter sports equipment, and our property and supply committee meeting minutes are in attachment. And our next meeting is September 4th to 3rd at the Central Admin Building. That completes my report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Student activities and recreation, Dr. Laughlin.
I'm going to start with B. Our senior night for the band, cheerleaders, and football team is September 5th at the home game at 6:30. The band nights at Latrobe Memorial Stadium on September 19th, and we'll get the other senior nights to you soon. And hear Mr. Mayor's report on Steeler Night.
Thank you. Well, as you know, Steeler Night was a great success this year. The field was in perfect condition. And that's, Kevin and Ken and their crew. Steelers were very happy. The night didn't rain. Somehow it didn't rain in Latrobe. I don't get it. Mr. Cassio texted me. He said, pouring miles. I said, sun's out here. And that's how close it came. It never rained on Memorial Stadium. It's very strange. But I want to thank everyone's help, all the administrators. It's not just me. There's 100 workers. There are literally 100 orange shirts there from 7 different booster organizations. All the administrators, it's a fun night, and this year it seemed really fun because I think everyone missed it from not being there for a year. And we had roughly about 10,000 people there, so it was a tremendous night. And I think the community day beforehand, they said was very well attended to. So there was board members there. I don't know if you guys want to say anything or whatever. Eric was there, Bill was there. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, one night. Everybody was having a great time.
And the fireworks this year were absolutely ridiculous nice. I mean, that's all everyone kept talking about. It was an amazing display of fireworks. It was great. That's it. Connection.
More things leak too often.
Yeah.
Don't let him fool you, he loves that.
I call that the fun stress.
Yeah, that's right.
Until they say there are coming.
Just hurts so good, right, Mark?
Yeah.
And that concludes my report. Thank you very much. Community Relations, Dr. Zilch.
The Travis Union Park Recreation Commission meeting minutes are in the packet, and next meeting is Thursday, August 21st. When's Unity Township out of this thing?
Pardon me?
When is Unity Township done?
The end of the year.
End of the year.
And there's a letter in the Latrobe Bulletin today, sort of to the people who use the rec board, explaining what is going to happen about the fees, etc.
Who wrote the letter?
Dan Hennessy, our treasurer, read it. It was approved by several people. It was also sent to the trip. I don't know if they will publish it as well or not.
I don't see anything.
I don't, it wasn't in the trip today, it's in the bulletin. Any comments there? Thank you. Under the intermediate unit, on your agenda next week will be a resolution to authorize the WIU access billing services for 2013-2014. And the WIU board meeting minutes are from August 5th, 2014 are attached. Mostly that meeting was to hire for the upcoming school year. And we always have an earlier meeting in August because of the hiring that's necessary. That's all for the IU, and we'll go to Mrs. Kozar for EWCTC.
Yeah, I have no report other than to say our next meeting is August 20th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Board policy, PSB liaison, Mrs. Elder.
We don't have anybody, as far as I know, a board member who is attending the leadership conference. So I guess we'll just keep putting this on the agenda. At least that next week we should have it on the agenda in case somebody decides that they want to go, and we'll be happy to appoint them. And the way that the delegate assembly works is less onerous than it used to be. Might be kind of fun even, but if anybody wants to go, they can be our delegate.
Thank you. Transportation, Mr. Music.
Thank you. There will be 3 agenda items to be voted on next week. The first one being the approval of the 2014-15 school bus drivers, van drivers. You'll see an attachment listing those drivers from AJ and D&J Transportation. The second item to be voted on is going to be to approve the pupil transportation schedule for the 2014-15 school year. And the third agenda item to be voted on is to approve the individual transportation contracts, and those are listed on your agenda. We will be having another transportation committee meeting tomorrow, being Wednesday, August 13th at St. Christ Hall.
I assume all the clearances for the bus drivers are either in hand or will be by next week.
I have them in hand right now in the office, and they're all there.
Good job. Anything else, Mr. Music? Thank you so much. Technology, Mr. Palmer.
Thank you. Just to let you know, we had our technology committee meeting this evening. The meeting minutes will be attached to the next board meeting, and our next tech meeting is August 12th at 6 here.
Thank you. Superintendent's recommendations, Mrs. Schneider.
We would ask the board to approve the
It was
personnel.
today.
I'm sorry.
The next meeting was today. Your
Next-
next meeting is a month. in September.
Sorry. That's okay, that's okay.
September 9th.
We are asking the board to vote on the personnel items this evening because of the start of school on Monday, August 18th, which is before our next board meeting. So as we move forward, I would suggest a resolution for each one of these.
Before we do that, then, I would invite the public, if they wish to comment on any of these resolutions. We typically do not vote at this meeting, but because of the as Mrs. Swigert said, the start of school is imminent, and we need to get these people approved. So if anyone has any comments on any of the resignations, any of the recommendations under personnel, please rise and come to the podium and give us your name and address. Seeing none. You're up, Mrs. Swigert.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 14, which is the list of resignations stated.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we adopt resolution number 14. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, then please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that passes unanimously.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 15, which is the approval of the professional personnel teaching recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we adopt resolution number 15. Any questions or discussion on that motion? All those in favor, then please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes unanimously also.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 16, which is the additional list of approved substitute teaching recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we adopt resolution number 16.
16, correct.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that also passes unanimously.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 17, which is the approval of the support personnel classified.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we adopt resolution number 17. Questions or discussion on that motion? All those in favor, then please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that also passes unanimously.
And I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 18, which is the approval of the support personnel classified personal care assistants.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we adopt resolution number 18. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that passes unanimously.
And the remainder of the recommendations we will be voting on next week, and that is the addition of a part-time secretary for junior and senior high school. The word addition is maybe misleading. It is a transfer from a classroom assistant position to a part-time secretary for junior and senior high. So it's no additional cost. It is really the transfer of that function. We'd also next week to ask for the approval of the security police for 2014-15. This is an annual resolution that we ask the board to vote on. These people on occasion provide security for us. In addition, and lastly, we would ask next week the board to approve the professional substitute rates that are listed there. They are a three-tiered process based on number of substitute days that the people work within the district. So those three resolutions we would ask the board to move on next week.
Thank you. Under other business, there quite a list of upcoming events for each of the schools. So please review those and attend any of that if you possibly can. There are back-to-school nights, new student orientations, Chick-fil-A meet and greet for kindergarten, and open house for the junior and senior high school. And Part B indicates upcoming board meeting dates. Our next regular meeting will be August 19th, a week from today. The September Committee of the Whole will be September 9th, and the September regular meeting, September 16th. There is a change for the first meeting, the Committee of the Whole in October. It will be on Monday, October 13th, and that is because of the state conference. And then the regular October meeting will be October the 21st. Any questions about anything? Any other business to come up this evening? Yes.
I'd like to add, I was remiss in my report with Dr. Loughlin. Monday was the big day everybody's been waiting for 30 years. I should have given you an update. Do you have a spreadsheet in front of you that was made explaining all the teams are using the new facility? And and they moved in last week, and they started practices Monday. It's been very well received. The kids are ecstatic. Actually, the boosters become very popular. There's a booster meeting tonight in the meeting room. There's a booster meeting tomorrow night in the meeting room. I mean, they've instantly taken to the field house. I mean, the coaches are sharing fields the way we visualized it would work. They're all working together. It's just, I think Steve, the principals, anyone can comment. We were there watching the first down with Steve. If you want to comment, you've been here a long time.
No, it was great seeing all that activity back there.
But it is a hub of activity, and it is a buzz back there, and the kids are very excited. You just see, they stay after practice. Not that they never did today. It's like, I had actually asked 8 football players to leave so the field hockey could come on. And now they're working on things because it's on the turf. I know why that, you know. And it rained for 2 days. No lightning and thunder, but they just kept right on practicing. Like the turf they just kept right on. I mean, we didn't miss a beat. So the weight room's fantastic. It's finished. You should stop and see it sometime. It's amazing. But I should have brought that the day everyone was waiting for finally arrived. It's a success.
I have to say, I've received so many compliments on that, even from people outside the district who have come here. Just so impressed. So it's very nice. Thank you for that report.
I have a question. This is a silly question. What kind of shoes are they wearing practicing on the field? They wear
Yep.
the same shoes that
They
wear
can wear any cleat they.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
they don't wear metal, but any,
Right.
just like a softball spike they look like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Honorable is playing.
Yeah.
Anybody else, other business? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you for your time this evening.